and welcome to the show. I'm here on Forza Horizon 2 with another silly car build. My vehicle today is the Chevrolet SS, or Holden Commodore if you're from Australia, or I think it's the Vauxhall VXR8 from England, or kind of like that one. I like this car. I do quite like this car, and I like V8 supercars, so yeah, I'm predisposed to like this vehicle. And I'm going to see how it goes in a silly car build, because you can't change the engine in this car. You have to use the standard engine, which is, I mean, it's a pretty damn powerful engine to start with, if I'm honest. I'm hoping, though, we might get a little bit more power out of it than we do from the, what's it called? The normal V8 that ends up in cars. I'm hoping we get a little bit more power out of it, perhaps. It might even be the same engine. I don't think it is quite, because, I mean, we can't put a turbocharger on it. So it's a similar engine, but I'm hoping maybe we will get a little bit more. So, yeah, we're going to have a supercharged car here today. It's going to kind of look a little bit V8 supercar-ish. I'd love to have the proper full-on body kit. That'd be great fun. Because we're not going to get any closer to a V8 supercar. I'm not entirely sure what to expect from this vehicle. I mean, it could be quite quick. I mean, we've got some big tyres going on the front there. What about the rear? Yeah, we've got some decent sized tyres on this car. I mean, it's also going to be a fairly heavyweight vehicle. It's a fairly sizable vehicle, so we shouldn't be too twitchy. Should be, yeah, it could, I'm saying it should be. That's the theory behind it anyway. I mean, we had the Audi RS2 that was very, very strange. I still can't figure out why that thing was so odd. When I thought that would be okay. But I imagine that this won't be too bad on the handling front. It may be quite oversteery. It may be the traction front that lets the car down. But I don't think we're going to have a really twitchy, horrible. I think it's going to be too heavy for that sort of thing. We're going through here. We will eventually get through all of the menus. Come on. Yep, we want anti-roll bars. Oh, for God's sake. I nearly timed it right. God damn it. We want a roll cage and everything. Do we have the silly bar going across the windscreen? No, we don't, thank God. Right. Maximum weight reduction. Yeah, still £3,300. Again, a little bit on the heavy side there. A little bit heavy for a silly car build. But it's not terrible. PI, I'm thinking we're going to be alright on the PI. This does start a little bit higher than some of the other cars, but it's never going to be quite as good handling as the little dinky sports cars. As you can tell, we're only just about to get into S2. It might be a little bit high. Right, there we go. We are going to put the exhaust on. Right, how much power are we looking at? 128 added. Didn't even tell me. 673 horsepower. Right. There we go. Okay, it's just skipping out things. I think I may have already bought that part. I don't know. I may have already bought that part earlier when I was just messing about with the car. Right. Okay, we're going to be perhaps. We've got the supercharger and intercooler to come. It's actually probably going to end up fairly similar power to the Corvette engine. I think it's the Stingray's engine, isn't it? And we are at... Oh, it's just going to be a little bit less. We're not quite going to get the 900 horsepower mark. That's slightly disappointing, but never mind. Yeah, 887 horsepower in a four-door saloon car. Still quite a lot. If I'm that's a very useful graph, game. That's incredibly useful right there. Has it been doing that before, or is it just on the flywheel? It's got a bit strange. Oh, it has been doing it before. I've only just noticed that. Okay. Well, we've got a 7-litre V8 in our car. Quite a lot of power, quite a lot of torque, quite a bit of weight. I think this could actually be a surprise package. That's my expectations. Also, I do apologise if you can hear in the background. It's absolutely hammering it down with rain outside at the moment. Just as I started to record, of course, that would be the moment the heavens decided to drop all of the water on the area that I live. Okay. Time to take this car for a drive. I'm a little bit scared of it, but as I said, I reckon this could be quite a good car. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Right, our route of choice is the Cisteron Citadel circuit, where I have got 6 laps to try and beat a time set by a standard Noble M600. The Noble's time was a 56.414, and I'm now going to try and beat it. I think we will. I think we will beat the Noble. I don't think we will go as fast as the Lamborghini Urus. I don't think we're quite gonna have the grip or the traction in this car, but I think we will probably go quicker than the Noble. I think we will have enough traction. I think traction is the big thing on this circuit. This is a tight twisty track. Obviously, I'll get the camera button remembered eventually. This is a very tight and very twisty track. You do not have any real high-speed sections around here. So it's the traction out of the low-speed hairpins and stuff that is very, very important. High-speed grip is of less of a concern, shall we say. We have lovely turning in this car. That's reassuring. You have absolutely lovely turning, and we've got decent enough rear-end grip. 134 on our first attempt coming into that corner is also not too shabby. Really, really nice turning in this vehicle. That's not quite what I was expecting, which means we should be lovely through the, look at that, lovely through the hairpins. Now, can we do better than the Lamborghini that was out last time, that was very unhappy with this particular hairpin? Are we better? Yes, it is much happier through there. Still, I think it must be some part of the road, either the camber or the bumps. It still didn't quite like it as much as the first hairpin. It should be the way it's banked. So far on that opening lap, this is a very nice car. We've got not quite as much rear-end grip as I personally would ideally like. We are a little bit slidey, but you kind of expect that from from nearly 900 horsepower V8 saloon car. I mean, we're coming up that hill, and we are bursting into wheel spin just as we reach the top. But that's not at all surprising, considering the power that we've got going through this car. It's remarkably controlled, though. Remarkably controlled for this much power. Whoopsie, but again, a little bit of wheel spin kicking in here and there. That is really very, very nice through these corners. There is a lot of front-end grip in this car. I wasn't quite expecting that. I mean, I thought it might be quite nice to drive. I wasn't expecting it to handle... this doesn't feel like a big, heavy saloon car. It feels agile. Okay, it doesn't... I mean, it does quite well. Nothing likes the bumps around this track. We've already gone quicker than the Noble on our second lap. Only just, mind, but we have gone quicker. No car really likes the bumps. I mean, I'm pushing this quite a lot, especially through that section there. There's some nasty changes of direction and bumps as you leave that tunnel, and it's fine that if I'm careful. Can we look at that up the hill? Little bit of caution. Oh, and there we get it started. With a little bit of caution and a bit of a short shift, you can get away without spinning the wheels up the hill in this car. We can't quite get away without going a little bit sideways. And again, just over the bumps. Just over the bumps, it wants to get a little bit sideways, which is not to be surprising, really. Again, getting that drive out of the corner there, that's so important to a good lap time here. It's very, very good at it. I mean, it's still going to spin the wheels up in a... there we go. In a low gear, it is a very powerful, very torquey engine. Ooh, a little bit wide. He just got it slightly out of shape. I don't think it quite has this... It doesn't quite have the acceleration, or perhaps the top speed as some of the other cars. I mean, the end is not as powerful. It hasn't got 1,200 horsepower or near enough that some of the other vehicles has had. It just loses out a little bit on some of these acceleration zones. I think that's part of the reason why I think this is not quite... Ooh, okay, that was my bad. My bad on that one. A little bit out of shape over those bumps. Yeah, we haven't quite got that acceleration out of the corners, especially on that final run to the finish line. I think we will lose a little bit on the drag up the hill. Just not quite the power. And again, we are one of the heavier cars that we've had here. But aside from that, it's one of the easier cars to drive. I have to say, it's nice. I'm impressed with the amount of... Ooh, just a little bit scary there. Yeah, I'm impressed with the amount of grip that there is available in this. I mean, nothing has ever really liked the bumps. Even the Urus struggled. That's a bit of an SUV, didn't really like the bumps that much. But this deals with them as good as any other normal road car has. It's absolutely lovely through that corner there, where some cars have struggled. And up the hill, if we're careful, just about get away without any wheel spin. We're on for a decent lap now this time, having got that right. Get it stopped. Again, pretty good under braking, not the best we've had. Again, not to be surprising, a big heavy four-door saloon car, not as good under the brakes as some lightweight supercars. See, and get it turned through the hairpin, try and fire it out the other side, a little bit of a short shift, seems to work wonders on that old accelerator. Yeah, it's this corner here that I'm struggling a little bit on. Ooh, crap. I've tried to go a little bit too soon and now I've got it a bit out of shape. Whoa, big two-wheeled moment over there and I lost a lot of time. A lot of time on that final. I've got to try and get that hairpin right. I'm struggling a smidge with getting that hairpin. Right, across there wasn't really ideal. Oh, taking out all the scenery. I fucking it up. A little bit disappointing. Yeah, I'm sorry, Chevrolet. I've let you down a little bit. I mean, we've gone quicker than the Noble, which is what that was the thing. That's the challenge. We have definitely gone quicker than the Noble. It's just that final stretch, getting out of that final hairpin, is where it loses a bit of time. And then, in my haste to try and get it out of there faster, I then promptly messed it up a bit more. Yeah, it's not quite. I don't think we quite have the brakes. I don't quite trust it enough under braking. Oh, and there's definitely something there in that corner. Definitely got to be something. Well, then I bullsed up out of the corner. And it's up on two wheels a little bit. But it beat the Noble, and that's not bad. And this beat a Noble, which is a proper full-on supercar, around a very tight and twisty track. And this is a four-door saloon car. Admittedly, it does have racing tyres. I don't actually know if the Noble may have them as standard. It wouldn't surprise me if it did. But yeah, for a four-door saloon car to go quicker around here than a Noble and be very nice. I mean, this wasn't a horrible, uncontrollable mess. That's pretty good going. That's very good going, in fact. Yeah, it's a nice car. I quite like. Yeah. It did even better than I thought it might do. That's an interesting vehicle, I have to say. Onto the speed run aspect of it. Now, this may be a little bit scarier with this car. It's not quite. I mean, it doesn't feel like a big, large saloon car when you come to drive it. It's very nice, but it is still a big, large saloon car. So weaving in and out of traffic. You're going to have to be a little bit more careful with this than some of the dinky sports cars that will dodge and dive. I'm thinking we're going to get up to sort of 230 miles an hour, perhaps, with this. As I said, it's not the most powerful car. And, I mean, that can kind of be a little bit useful when doing this. After all, not quite having 1,200 horsepower may make it a little bit more drivable in some respects. But we won't get quite the same top speed, and we also don't quite have the same ferocious acceleration. Oopsie, well, I always do that by accident. Yeah, we don't quite have the amount of power that some of the other vehicles had. So I'm thinking, yeah, 230 is probably going to be the best that we're going to get out of the Chevrolet. I don't think it's going to be too bad over the bumps. I think it may stick on the road quite well. I don't think it'll be as nice as the Lamborghini. I don't think it's going to have that same rear end grip. I mean, the Lamborghini was incredible. That thing, the front end was running out of grip before the back end ever did, and it's very rare in a city car build for that to ever happen for a rear wheel drive car like this. We're not even going to get the 230 mark with the Chevrolet. Maybe if we shorten the gears a little bit, it'll make it a tad happier. 223, I think that's about all we're going to get, even with the downhill run. 223, yeah, it's as good as we're going to do. Even when we stick it downhill, 225 perhaps. Right, yeah, with the aero off, I don't think it's going to be terribly uncontrolled. Okay, go on, back on the road. There we go. And the junction of doom, or it's okay. They're not causing crashes over there this time around. Yeah. We will see. We will see as we fire the car onto the motorway. Right, AIs, please behave yourself while I'm doing this. There we go. We can fit down the middle of the... Whoopsie, Yaris. That was deliberate. It wasn't at all me slightly distracted by something and not paying attention. I totally purposefully crashed into the silver Yaris, okay? It's fine. Right. Come on then, Chevrolet. Let's see what you got. How are we through the corners? What lets go? Yeah, there we go. The back end is going to let go in this car before the front end does, which is normal in a silly car build. That's why I was very surprised with the Lamborghini. But we're doing okay. But now we're up to that 200 mile an hour mark. We are sort of running out of speed. Come on, a little bit more. Any more from the Chevrolet? I think we may actually have to extend those ratios a little bit. Just seeing that. Sorry, we're cheating slightly. It's fine. You can do this. We want to stick him back sort of there. It'll give us a little bit more revs, so we don't end up bouncing in the limiter the whole bloody way. Yeah, there we go. I mean, it's only giving us another 0.5 mile an hour, but once we start going downhill, I'm hoping we won't be bouncing in the limiters so much. Can we be... We do have decent enough... Whoa! Good God, that jump is horrible. Uh-oh. And this is bad. This is quite bad. We don't really want to be in the other lane. Good, we can actually get back across without losing too much speed as well. I'm glad they didn't have a big central reservation barrier down there. Okay, the bump was a little bit nasty. Hello, speed camera. We'll find a gap somewhere. There we go. Stop changing lanes. Stay in a lane and... Woo! Fiesta, what are you doing? God, the cars really like just driving down the middle of the... They're all just in the middle, in between two lanes. I can't quite make up where they're going to go. Ooh. Again, a little bit of a scary moment with the bumps there. It's got decent grip. It's not the most terrifying car that I've driven down here. It's not quite as good as the Lambo or the BMW M1. Still, not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. For I'm talking about it in the same breath as them two. They're both sort of supercars and have supercar chassis. This is a saloon car. Quite a lot bigger than the pair of them, and not perhaps quite so race orientated. 220 miles an hour, there we go. We've got 220. Can we get 225 maybe with the downhill bit? Don't think we're going to get much more than 225. 224. Ooh, careful now. Careful now, try not to lose too much speed through here. One more downhill section to go to get that 225. It'd be nice. We're not quite, much like the Mustang, it's not quite the most aerodynamical of shapes really. And come on, there we go, 225. 26 at all? No, I was trying to get away with touching the steering as little as possible. But 25 miles an hour, that's still pretty damn fast for anything. It would make it the fastest four-door saloon car there is. Yeah, nice car to drive around a track, actually. Surprisingly nice. Pretty damn controllable. And not too bad when it comes to the straight line. Yes, you will get oversteer. Yes, you will be able to spin the wheels up. But it's a lot more controllable than you would probably expect from a big V8 powered saloon car. So there we go. That is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.